You know who is raising money a little bit different? Take a guess. Who's raising money? Maybe not as much through people, but raising money through plutocrats. In February, Pete Buttigieg stepped into the Manhattan office of Wall Street veteran Charles Myers to talk politics over deli sandwiches. Making me hungry hanging out with Wall Street bigwigs over a little turkey and pastrami. Citigroup Inc. Managing Director Jan Kotenlem hosted a fundraiser in March for Kamala Harris at his Fifth Avenue apartment, where she shook the paw of the banker's labradoodle. Oh, God. 3 days later, former Goldman Sachs Group Inc. partner Bruce Heyman raised more than $100,000 for Amy Klobuchar. At his home in Chicago, he's also planning an event for Joe Biden this fall. Oh my God. America's Mayor Pete Buttigieg is sitting there having pastrami sandwiches with Wall Street bigwigs. For the people, Kamala Harris, who's out on Colbert the other night, and I'm for the people, and all these late night show hosts are idiots, and they just give total platforms to Wall Street puppets like Kamala Harris. I like Colbert normally, but the media is public relations for Wall Street. The corporate media, and I'm throwing in the late night shows with that. I'm showing in the morning shows with that. I'm throwing in The View with that. It is PR and free advertising for Wall Street, fossil fuel companies, big pharmaceutical companies, Silicon Valley, and big real estate. And they are all in one sick mixed bowl of groupthink. They are all in one sick, pathetic, lazy bowl of entitlement and arrogance because they don't leave their bubble and go speak with you, the people, actual people. So when you have Kamala Harris sitting there on Fifth Avenue, playing with a banker's gold labradoodle while probably sipping champagne, that's what happens at these fiestas. 3 days later, Goldman Sachs is raising money for Amy Klobuchar, which I don't care about because she's got no chance. And Joe Biden, I'm a union man, Joe Biden. That's what he said at his kickoff rally. I'm a union man. Middle class Joe. I'm electable. Excuse me while I go give favors to Goldman Sachs. Why can't I think? Wasn't there a candidate who ran for president in 2016? What was that candidate's name? She was a Democrat. She loves war. She gave private speeches to Goldman Sachs. She said she had a public position and a private position. She told the bankers, don't fret. I think you're misunderstood. Your role in the banking crisis. I think that was all misunderstood, Who was that? Because obviously the American people, especially Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio, Pennsylvania, they love Goldman Sachs. They love candidates who have deli sandwiches with Wall Street bankers. They love, Joe Biden having private fundraisers with Goldman Sachs. This is exactly what the anti-establishment crowd is thriving. More, I'm trying not to get demonetized today, but more bending down and taking it up the beep from beep from beep. If you like my sound effects, let us know in the super chat. Hint, hint. So, what's the most egregious to me about this is this sentence, and this story is from Bloomberg, by the way. The mayor of South Bend, Indiana, the senators from California and Minnesota, and the ex-vice president are among the Democratic presidential candidates disavowing corporate cash, lobbyist checks, and the super PAC system. They're trying to outdo each other with promises to finance their campaigns with grassroots contributions. Well, Joe Biden's definitely going to get those grassroots contributions from the bingo halls all over America. Sorry to my viewers from senior homes. I'm not trying to be ageist. But while they play down the role of money and influence, longtime Wall Street donors who have both say little has changed. I've talked to about half of them, and I have not run into a single one who said, "Hey, you worked at Goldman Sachs, I can't take your money," says Heyman, who helped elect Barack Obama by collecting checks from friends and later became his ambassador to Canada. I've not heard that ever. Well, no wonder. No wonder Barack Obama never jailed a banker as president after the bankers brought down the global financial economy. All the bankers put him in office. And I was hoodwinked. Were you hoodwinked by then candidate Obama? You spoke about parting the seas, lifting the skies, lifting us up to a new kind of politics, a post-partisan era. But then he had to take bathroom breaks to bend over and for Wall Street. So you got Kamala Harris. I'm for Medicare for all. You think her Wall Street bankers that are invested in big pharmaceutical companies are for Medicare for all? Got Pete Buttigieg. I don't even know what he's for. He says, oh, it's about values. Let me show you my value. We'll get to policy later. Yeah, he'll propose whatever policies that Wall Street guy that he ate sandwiches with, tell him he's allowed to propose. Amy Klobuchar, I don't care. Joe Biden, I'm for a public option, and he's running on unity. It's like Hillary Clinton with a penis is running again. That's his message. We need to unify. And the people who talk about unifying, they are the people that don't have any actual progressive or populist policies. That's who talks about unifying. But the fact that you got Wall Street executives on the record saying, I've talked to about half of them, and I have not heard one of them say, well, you're at Goldman Sachs, so I can't take your money. And this is when the arrogance comes into play, and this is when the sociopathic nature of our politics come into play. When you have people like Kamala Harris by day going out there and putting on this show that she's for the people, and she's for Medicare for all, and she's for free college or debt-free college, whatever that means. It's not free public college tuition. And she's for, raising money for raising wages for the teachers, and all of these things that sound pretty nice. But Wall Street executives are not for any of those things, because Wall Street executives make their money by investing in the very plutocratic and oligarchic corporations and entities that would go down if Medicare for all were a thing, that would be harmed if free public college was a thing. They would be harmed with a minimum wage increase. They would be harmed with stronger labor unions. Wall Street is at the center of everything in American life. As Mike Gravel said in our interview, if you haven't seen my interview with Mike Gravel, it's up here on the channel. It is the military-industrial complex via Wall Street running the country and the media. But let me ask you a question. Honestly. And I'm not only saying this, I'm really not only saying this because we're trying to grow our membership and we're trying to raise money. I want to ask you, do you expect any journalists at Kamala Harris rallies, or any journalists that interview Kamala Harris, or any journalists that interview voters for Kamala Harris, or Joe Biden? Do you expect any of them to bring this up? Do you expect any of them to bring up that her largest donor in her entire career is Warner Media? You know who Warner Media was the parent company of until last year? CNN. So basically, Kamala Harris's bigger financial sugar daddy was CNN's parent company. AT&T now owns CNN. I'm sure they gave money to Kamala Harris too. You think anyone's going to challenge Kamala Harris voters on, well, if you want, tax cuts for the middle class, if you want, expanded health care, if you want more pay for teachers, do you expect somebody who's taking a lot of money from Wall Street, the same Wall Street that is against every single policy that she's saying she's for, do you think they're just giving her money for charity? Or do you think they're giving her money because they expect something in return? Do you remember a candidate named Barack Obama who said he was against Wall Street excess and greed, and then never actually jailed any bankers and passed a toothless Band-Aid called Dodd-Frank over a gunshot wound? You're not going to have any journalists do that because A, they're paid not to tell the truth. B, they're paid not to challenge corporate candidates on their corporatism. And C, they are paid to focus on the sound bites, the theatrics, the narrative, and the brand. That's how Kamala Harris has been propped up to the point she is now, which is still not that high. She's still polling at 8 to 10% in most national polls, despite all the free airtime she's gotten from CNN, despite all of the adoring coverage she's gotten from places like The View and Stephen Colbert the other night. They're making a Hillary Clinton disciple. You know who's running Kamala Harris's campaign and all her staffers? They worked for Hillary Clinton's 2016 campaign. You know who's donating a lot of money to Kamala Harris? Hillary Clinton donors. Why do you think Kamala Harris was meeting with Hillary Clinton's top donors in the Hamptons in the summer of 2017, 6 months after she became a senator? To talk about Medicare for all and free college?
Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.